it's Hannah, and I'm here today with my July wrap-up and my August TBR. So I'm here to talk about books that I read in July and the books that I'm going to be reading in August. Can you guys believe that we're past the halfway mark to the end of the year? This year has flown by, and I for one have definitely needed to step up my reading game, because I think I just checked Goodreads today and I'm like 11 books behind of my reading goal, and I'm like, it's gonna be like one of those years like last year where it was New Year's Eve and I was like just like jamming out books because I was trying to hit my numbers, and I do not want that to happen this year. So somewhere in these next couple of months I am going to have to pick up my reading game. So yeah, I did actually read quite a bit of books this month, so let's get into it. The first book that I read in the month of July is Saga, Volume 6. I was so excited when this came out. If you guys watched my July TBR last month, I had already said that I read it and I was super excited in that video. I'm so excited. I love these. I hate the wait that we have to wait in between the volumes, but this is so incredible. If you guys have not picked this up, please do. It has amazing artwork and characters and just such a unique storyline and character development. It's so good. I cannot say enough good things about this. Go pick up Saga by Brian Kevon. Next up on my reading that I did in July is Star Wars ABC-3PO. I saw this when we were waiting in line at Barnes & Noble, and it was just there and adorable, and we just were drawn to it, and it's so cute. I do have my little one-year-old niece, or soon to be one, coming to visit us, and we were so excited, and I wanted to grab some kids books for her because she loves being read too. We start them off young in our family. So this is just adorable. It goes through the alphabet, and it's got Star Wars themed letters. I showed you a sneak peek of this in my July TBR, but here is another one. They're just so cute, and like they even made Jabba the Hutt adorable, and that's some pretty hardcore artwork that you can do that. So 5 out of 5. I love these nerdy books. If you guys have any more nerdy children's books, like recommendations, please let me know, because I want to have a nerdy children library. I want to be the nerdy aunt and uncle and be like, come to me children and we will teach you all things nerdy. So please leave some recommendations down below. Next up in July, I read Rat Queens Volume 3. I love Rat Queens. I just discovered them last month and I love them almost as much as Saga. It's like a very close second. Saga's still my number one, but I love Rat Queens. This was a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't a 5 out of 5 because it wasn't as good as the first and second volumes, but it's still amazing. I love the way that this volume started off, and then it went into a little bit of a different place that I wasn't expecting. I don't like change too much, but it was very good, and once I take on that this is going to start being a little more serious, that is okay. I just have to wrap my mind around it, so I'm sure that I will love the next volume, and it will probably be 5 out of 5 stars yet again. Next up, I read White Sands by Brandon Sanderson. White Sand, not White Sands. I always want to add the S to everything. But this is White Sand by Brandon Sanderson. This is my first Brandon Sanderson work of art that I have ever read. I haven't read any other books that I know I need to get on it because my husband constantly berates me to read it. But this is the first one that I have picked up. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really enjoyed it. It reminds me a lot of Star Wars. So what this is about a son who is learning to control sand, and it learns about hydration and everything, and how to wield sand and like ribbons of sand and stuff. And it's very Star Wars-esque, so if you replace sand mastery with the Force, it's very similar to that in my mind. There is some problematic areas in this, but I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. But that is why I did dock it down a point, but it's still a very good book. I mean, besides the fact that it's a little like Star Wars, which there's nothing wrong with that. Hello, I love Star Wars, but it's not as original as I was hoping it was going to be. But the artwork is stunning, and the dialogue is really great. The only thing is, when you're reading through it, like, even he had to draw arrows of which box goes next, and usually they don't have to do that if it's well illustrated. Don't kill me, Brandon Sanderson fans. that was one of my only other issues that I found through here, is that it was a little hard to follow where the story was going when you were reading these. Oh, and I love like the artwork and everything, that's great. Also, another plus is, look at this naked book. So pretty. I love when authors take the time to think that little detail through for the readers. So, really appreciated that. So, 4 out of 5 for Brandon Sanderson. Next up, I read Bloodlines, and this is the sister series to Vampire Academy. I absolutely adore Vampire Academy. I just recently reread it, so I had to pick this one up. This is about Sydney Sage, and she's like hiding Jill Mastrano, and if you read the books, you know who that is, and you kind of know why. But that's where this series starts off. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It was very good, but it's hard not to compare it to Vampire Academy, and Vampire Academy is like canon, so this is kind of hard for me to accept into it, but I still really enjoy it. I love Rochelle Mead's writing, and it's so easy to read her books and fly through them. Like, it's so easy to get wrapped up into it, so I just, like, my heart is so happy reading her books. So, 4 out of 5 stars for this one. And then, of course, I had to pick up The Golden Lily by Rochelle Mead. Yet again, this is the second book in the series. Again, my heart is just happy reading this one. This one did feel a bit more fillery, but I understand that in series you do have to have a filler book. But you do learn a lot, and it's more of explaining what's going to be coming. It's like less action. It's definitely, like, the whole series is definitely a lot less action than Vampire Academy, so I think is why I docked it a little bit. I gave this one, again, 4 out of 5 stars, just like Bloodlines, but they are still really good books, and I love her writing, and I love the pace of it, and the style of writing. It's just so good. Next up, guys, I finally finished Deathly Hallows. This one was beast. We did it for the first time in audiobook, and that was really an interesting experience. I love the accents with it, but I much prefer reading it instead of the audiobooks. If you're going to read these books, or if you've never read them before, please read them first. Don't do the audiobooks. He pronounces a lot of things wrong, and that drove me and Trevor crazy to no end. So that was another, like, irritation while reading this that kind of pulls you out of the story. But I love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Anything Harry Potter is amazing. Speaking of anything Harry Potter, I picked up this baby. It's finally out, and I read this one in July. I literally picked it up. We went to a midnight premiere thing at Barnes & Noble, stood in line, got the book, and I was reading it on the way home. I dropped everything and read this one, and I was done with it within like a day. So I did give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, it's hard not to compare it to the Harry Potter series. This one is actually not by J.K. Rowling, it's with J.K. Rowling, so this style and the writing is a little bit different, and I think that's why I docked it. There is some problematic things in here, but I think problematic in a good way, like it's self-aware. But it was still a really good book. 4 out of 5 stars. This book actually takes place 19 years later in the Harry Potter world, and it's Harry Potter, and it follows his son and Draco Malfoy's son. Like, they go hand in hand in this book, and it's great to see that dynamic. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars, like I said. 19 years. Yeah, I was right. 4 out of 5 stars. I said that like 3 times now. Go pick it up if you haven't, but I'm pretty sure everybody in the world has picked it up by now. Next up, I did pick up Queen of Shadows. I buddy read this with Gabby over on Gabby's About Books. 5 out of 5 stars. By far, my favorite book of this entire series. I thought the last book was my favorite book, Heir of Fire. This one has now surpassed it. So many feels. I love all of the new characters that were introduced into this, and it's like, that, like, just, like, makes it up a notch. Like, it would be, like, a 6 out of 5 if I could. I love that we've got so many dynamics in this, and so many different backstories, and how well developed the characters are. Guys, this series is amazing, and I love this book. Go pick it up if you haven't. I am so excited for Empire Storms coming out soon. Cannot wait. And last but not least, we have 2 more books from the month. Both of them that I don't actually have with me, because one is an audiobook and one I actually just read at Barnes & Noble. So the first one is an audiobook. It is Flawless. I will pop its picture up right here. This is by Sarah Shepard. It is in the Pretty Little Liars series. This is book 2. I did read this book last month and I wasn't overly enthralled with the storyline or how the characters were developed, but it's such an easy thing to listen to, and I like listening to easy audiobooks. I don't have to be all-encompassing. I can multitask with it, so I like listening to this one because it's easy to listen to and easy to follow. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm hoping the longer that I listen to these books, the farther I get into this series, the more complex the story is going to be, and the more interesting it's going to be. So I guess I will find that out as I progress in my reading. And then, wait, did I say what I rated it? I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars if I didn't say that. And then last but not least, I did read Vision. I just picked this up while I was waiting for the Harry Potter Cursed Child to be released. They had a bunch of stuff going on beforehand while you were waiting around, so I was just sitting in Barnes & Noble reading comic books. So I read Vision, and this one, I really loved Vision in the movies, and I didn't know a lot about him, so I wanted to dive into him because I really liked him in the movies. I liked what he represented. And the comic book that I read was very, very different than what I was expecting. It's very interesting if you like the character, but the style, because he is so pragmatic, that the style is pragmatic and the writing is pragmatic. So it's not easy to read. It's very scientific the way they talk, and it's a little bit wordy to get through, but it's interesting that, that is the way that Vision would be speaking, and his family speaking. It's about his family. And I rated this a 3 out of 5 stars. It took a very weird turn. I don't think the style was for me. The art style was very cool, but the writing was a little too robotic for me, which I know is ironic because I know Vision needs to be, but I just couldn't sit through that continually, so that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. But it is good. I do recommend picking it up to see what you think, or if you've read it, please let me know down below what you think about it. But those are all of my books that I have read in July, and then now we're going to get into August. I know, you're like, can we be over with this video already? I know this has been forever. I promise we will get through this fast. So, first up on my list for my August TBR, I tried to say that I was going to read this in July, and it did not happen, so I'm trying to push this out for August because I'm starting to lose my beachiness, and I'm starting to lose my summertime. Sooner or later, it's going to be fall, and, well, not sooner or later, it's going to be sooner, it's going to be fall. Anyways, I'm going to try to pick up The Siren by Kiera Cass, another person just like Rochelle Mead, who I absolutely adore her style of writing. It's easy to read, I can completely engross myself in it, and it's such a fun read that just makes my heart happy. So I'm trying to pick up this one this month. Go on Twitter, yell at me, and be like, have you picked it up yet? You've said like for 2 months now that you're going to pick it up. Pick it up. So come yell at me and tell me to read this book so I will finally get it crossed off my to-be-read list. Next up on my August TBR is going to be The Mighty Thor, Thunder in Her Veins. It is about Lady Thor. I am so interested in Lady Thor. I've read a few comic books that I've absolutely loved, and this is my favorite comic book style. It is actually a hardcover comic book, which is my absolute favorite. I don't know why. I love the feel of it in my hands. I love reading it. They usually have better art style, but I think that's probably just biased. But it's so stunning with the artwork. I can't wait to pick this up this month. Next subject, to get a little hilarity in my life in August, I'm going to be reading Deadpool, Dracu Gauntlet, and anything Deadpool is great. So I will let you guys know what I think of this one in the end of my wrap of this month. Also this month, I am probably going to be picking up The Assassin's Blade. I just finished Queen of Shadows, as you guys know, and I want to read the novellas, and this is about her life in before all of the Throne of Glass series started. So I'm excited to pick this up. And last but not least, I know this is a short TBR this month, but I don't know what I'm going to pick after this. I'm kind of not in a planning mood, so I'm just gonna wing it afterwards, and I'm going to be reading The Indigo Spell. I do finally have all of these books so I probably will pick up the rest of them once I'm finished with this book. This is the third book in the Bloodlines series by Rochelle Mead, and again, I absolutely adore her writing, so I'm sure I will fly through this one as well. Well, that is all for my July wrap-up and my August TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below what you guys are reading this month, and what, if you have read any of these books, what you thought about them. I would love to have some reading discussions with you down below, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!